Hi, I am live. I wanted to actually come on today as kind of like our video because we've had some things that have been going on, and I wanted to do this live because I wanted to get your input and comments at the end of the video. This is just the start of what's happening with Naomi and her education. Like I said, I do want your comments at the end of the video, or if you're watching like the replay, leave comments. But basically, to kind of sum this up, you know those feelings when a homeschool mom gets a lot of outside pressure, feeling like they're doing the wrong thing. And honestly, I never thought I would be that kind of person. Usually I'm pretty tough. Like you say something like, you shouldn't be homeschooling. But this week it hit me really hard. So what happened is we took Naomi to her speech therapist, which we regularly do every, I don't know, Thursday and Tuesday. I'm going to say hello. Everybody's saying hello. I'm going to get to any comments at the end, but I want to just, I wrote an outline too. So I'm going to stick to the outline because this is very emotional for me. So, but thank you for watching. So we took her into therapy on Thursday, and after therapy, the speech therapist pulled me aside to have just kind of a heartfelt conversation with me about Naomi's progress. She is 4 years old. She is, I know, physical therapy and occupational therapy. Her scores were in the 2-year range, which happens. Her speech is, there's delays there, like a lot of delays. Hi, Wendy. I do have to say, and it pops up. Hi, Wendy. So there's lots of delays. And she was very, very concerned about Naomi's well-being. Pulled me aside. Have you thought about, basically what she said is, have you thought about what are you going to do next year for school? You know, and of course I'm like, well, we're gonna homeschool. Like, that's just what we do. We homeschool, and we're going to continue doing our co-ops. And she's like, there's just, Leilani, there is a very large gap with her. And of course I'm like, okay, seriously, tell me what I need to fix, and I will find a way to fix it. Like, that's kind of my mentality. What's the problem? Let's fix this. And she gave me some input. She said her vocabulary is very behind. She said her speech is very behind, and there's like a very large gap. And of course she added in, you know, you should think about taking her to public school or private school because you do so great. I watch you every week in the van with your other kids in the car, and you do such a good job with the older kids, but she just needs more work, and I don't know if you're able to give that to her. There's a lot said, but I came out of the situation. I didn't just brush it off, but I came out, I heard her voice. Like, I mean, I listened to what she said, and a lot of things went through my mind. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is how I'm so grounded in this homeschool movement. I'm so determined. I was a former public and private school teacher. I've dealt with kids with special needs in the public and private school setting. I am very comfortable homeschooling and knowing my way around. I evaluate students, all these things, but still at this moment, I felt like every philosophy that I had, everything that I believed to be true just went out the window. And the idea of sending her back to public school because I'm just not doing a good enough job totally crossed my mind. I think all of us moms, like, regardless if your kid is like 6 or 20 and you know you've done a good job, we all go through this. Even some of the most influential people in the entire world go through these moments. And I wanted to be transparent and say, I am going through this moment right now. You question your ability, you question your capability, you even question your motivation. Why am I homeschooling? You check your pride. Check your pride at the door. Like, am I doing this? I mean, first of all, I'm accountable to my family first and foremost. I'm accountable to my friends, but I'm on YouTube, like, talking about homeschooling, and I'm talking about I'm talking about homeschooling. I'm talking about why you should homeschool your special needs. You should be encouraged. You should do it. If the Lord laid that in your heart, you should homeschool. Like, anybody can do it. And here I am struggling with the very things that I talk about. Yes, I'm being very vulnerable, Wendy. But I do consider myself very accountable to you, but transparent. So this has taken me back. Like, I'm to be like just upfront. I wrote a book, okay? It's in the editing stages right now. I don't know, there's like some name for when you write a book, like there's different stages of editing. And I have an editor, and we're going to publish it. It's a work in progress. It's probably going to be like a 90-day progress. And the book is about helping you realize that as a homeschool parent, everybody's unique. We don't need to like get sucked into these benchmarks and sucked into this worldview of the way our children should be and shouldn't be. And so here I am writing a book. I wrote this thing. I mean, the world puts benchmarks and pressures on our kids, and we're supposed to hit certain points, all those benchmarks, but that's something new. But that's also something that's not biblical either. And that was actually something that a dear friend of mine said to me, which I'll mention, some very close friends, because they're on YouTube, ironically. They're on YouTube. Like, some of my closest friends are also YouTube mamas that when I had these feelings and emotions, I went to them. It's always, like, it's really good to have close friends. And in this case, my close friends just happened to be on YouTube. I shout them out later. I don't know. Katie, I'll just say Katie was the one that said that. She's life in the mundane. Anyway, sometimes getting back on track, going back to my notes. So I just wrote a book about all of this. And I find myself asking myself, did I really do the best that I could with Naomi? Am I really doing the best with everything that I know? Am I doing the best that I can for her? I felt guilty. I got totally, here, I'm reading this. Oh man, it disappeared. Wait, I don't know how to get comments back. Okay, I'll check at the end. Am I doing my best? I'm admitting to myself that I do sometimes push Naomi to the wayside. It doesn't look like that on the channel. Like, it really doesn't, because this channel does highlight Naomi a lot of the time. But that's true. I do push Naomi to the side sometimes so I can focus on my boys and Hannah. Their schooling is a lot harder than hers. And sometimes with Naomi, it's just like, you know what, here's a toy, play with this for a little bit by yourself. Or I have been totally guilty of giving her an iPad and letting her listen to music. Like, she loves to listen to music and dance to music. So have I been doing the best that I can do with her? Or am I providing the best for her? In a worldly fashion, probably no. In a worldly worldview, probably no. But in a biblical worldview, and Katie said this beautifully, I am not big enough to change God's plans for Naomi. And that was good. Because I know it's like one of those things that you're like, I know this, duh. But like, it's almost like you have to reevaluate that. Because I was trying to be everything for everybody in my household. Like, all my kids at the same time, the best mom, providing every possible need. Yes, I outsource a lot of the times. And a lot of the things that I'm praying about is, do I outsource more with Naomi? Is this something, public school is not a question right now. Like, that's out of the question. Private school, for me, that's out of the question. Because one of the things I went through this week is, why am I homeschooling? Am I doing it for pride? Checking my pride at the door? No, I'm not doing it for pride. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it from my past experiences, what I've seen happen to public school students. I can go on about that, maybe in another video. I don't know. But that's in my book. Okay. But the point is, I know it's not my pride. One of it is, obviously spiritual, faith-based reasons. Another one is that public schools tear apart families. And I don't want to tear apart my family. Naomi's brothers and sisters, like, they need her and she needs them. Like, this, we're a support, we're a network. That is something that my mother-in-law has taught me. The Hispanic culture values that so tremendously, that she has brought that into my household, and that's something that I value very much so. So that, I see public schools tearing apart families. Even my sister, who I love dearly, we are so night and day, and I know that it's because we never saw each other during the day. But this is gonna be a long video, guys. Like, sorry, y'all are hanging out. I'm like realizing I have a lot to get off my chest. And yeah, that's right. Colleen just said public schools can also push down special needs kids rather than lifting them up. Yeah, and I've seen that too in the public schools. Definitely. At the end of the day, you are, first teacher, whether you're special needs or not, be encouraged. Thank you. See, I'm reading, and I don't want them disappearing on me. I hope they save, because I want to go back and read some of these. I get so focused that I don't check them. So, checking myself at the door, but what I realize now is something has to change. There's more. Oh, I can't. Kindergarten teacher has something to say. I think the biggest concern for me is I want Naomi eventually to be independent. Okay, is what it boils down to, I guess. I want Naomi to be independent. I want her to be able to read. I want her to be able to write. I want her to be able to talk. I mean, yes, I want her to have a relationship with the Lord. I want her to have a relationship with the family. But those two things, I don't feel like those two things do not come in a lot of public school settings. No, well, public school settings, they don't. In private school settings, the relationship with the Lord, yes, that could come. But the relationship with siblings, that's a hard one. And you guys probably see how she interacts with her brothers and sisters. It's unbelievable. They protect her. They watch out for her. Part of the reason I think her language is so behind is because they speak for her. And we're working a lot with that too. But if there is something truly, there's two things I'm looking at, okay? One, this could be something from the Lord showing me, kick in the butt. Hey, Lonnie, you got to step it up with Naomi. Like, you want her to be independent, read, write, don't be lazy, get off your butt. Let's figure out this method, this routine that you're using is not necessarily working. So how are we going to change that? So that is something that I'm praying about tremendously. Do I need to switch up routines? Somehow, some way. There's a couple things going through my mind. I've been contacting some tutors, preschool tutors. I don't know if that's an option. I've looked into some online options. I've looked into some co-op options, made some phone calls. There's just a lot of different things that I'm looking at in general. But something, is this something that needs to change? I think something needs to change. Okay, let's just be honest. I do think we've been so focused on potty training. Like, that has been kind of our main focus, that I haven't sat and worked with her on her vocabulary. By the way, potty training, side note, not a quick bunny trail. She is now in panties. That's like a win-win for all of us. But she's in panties right now because she has consistently been using the toilet every single day. We're not at number 2 yet, but she's been in panties. So we're making now I feel like we're making leaps and bounds with the potty training thing. But now I need to take a step back and go, okay, we need to build our vocabulary. We need to build some sign language. We need to maybe look at having someone come to my house and sit with my older kids so I can work more one-on-one with Naomi, building vocabulary and such. Another thing I'm looking at is a speech teacher. She's great. Like, I cannot even begin to tell you how amazing this lady is. However, she only sees her twice a week for half an hour, and that is because of insurance purposes. Insurance only, because she's in a clinical setting, and I think it's a hospital too, she's allowed 2 sessions of half an hour a week. Is that enough for her with speech therapy? I did try something online with speech therapy for her, but it was not a win-win for us at all. It just didn't work for us. It's a good program, but it wasn't anyway, I need some more accountability. Like I need an actual person to keep me accountable, whether I'm working with a tutor. Anyway, so a lot of options that I'm thinking of. But the other option is, the other thing that I'm also praying a lot about, that was the first one. That was all the first one that I mentioned. The second thing I'm praying about is this just getting sidetracked with worldly worldview and not trying to look at this from God's perspective. And I do talk a lot about this in my book. I did the research. Like I spent nights and nights and nights just reading. I'm reading all the comments. I'm trying to keep my train of thought. Thank you. I spent nights and nights and nights researching things like why did the public school system start? The purpose of it starting is actually pretty good. But eventually it turned into, let's build these children as factory workers and teach them how to be obedient, but able to count and read and be literate and independent, so we don't have to spend so much time coaching them. But they do what they're told, so almost very militant-like. It was actually it's called the Prussian model, that was inspired by Prussia, which was a great influence. It's very complicated, but in a nutshell, it helped the philosopher that influenced the Prussian model. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all are so sweet, man. I'm trying not to get sidetracked. But anyway, but the comments come up and then I'm encouraged. So then I like doing these lives. The Prussian model, the person who inspired the Prussian model, the philosopher, also inspired nationalism in Germany during the Nazis. It just has a lot to say in general with the model. So, so that's something that really struck me hard. And it made me just really rethink. God did not create our children to be identical. And God created our children to be different. That is why when I look at the unschooling method, I admire parents that can truly unschool. Like that's something, and I'll admit, like to myself, like in the back of my mind, I do have a lot of that public school mentality and a lot of that I need to be deschooled like all the time. Like I get sometimes very strict with myself and how I work with my kids. But I admire the unschoolers who are just the freedom. Like I try to find a balance between the two. It's just, there's a lot. I'm a very deep thinker. And going live, you get all the process of my deep thinking. Exactly. I can't read that because it disappeared. What she just said, I don't even know who said it. It had something to do with don't get sucked into the worldly view and perspectives on things. And that is what I've been researching a lot of. But like I said, I still got sideswiped. Totally sideswiped, and still got the mom guilt, and I still questioned everything. Like I was in tears, and like I said, I got on my phone. I contacted some of my closest friends. Wendy from Plan Prep Pray. I know she was watching, but Megan, Pennies and Salt. I'm just gonna, these are my closest friends, guys. These are some of my closest friend. Valerie, Homeschool Castle. Katie, Life of the Mundane. If you don't know her, she has so much wisdom. She didn't even share half the wisdom that she has on her channel. She's the one that brought me to tears. And even today, I was out with Sarah. I love you too, Wendy. Sarah, Rolling with the Rouses. We're like actually physical friends. Like our kids play together. And we spent the whole afternoon at the park together just talking through these things, just about like unschooling and philosophies. And anyway, I just that was my quick little shout out if you don't know them. But those are some of my very, very closest friends. There's more close friends, but those were the ones at this moment. They just really fed into my life to kind of just, when you fall down, you build each other up kind of thing. That was one of those moments. Definitely. there's so many of you guys, like, just, I'm thinking of other names that are coming in. But anyway, from Trinidad, wow. Sorry, the comments pop up. Hi. From America, from Florida. But just to wrap this up, I'm in a lot of prayer about this. I'm in a lot of thought, deep thinking, just reevaluating, seeing if I can just go through, make sure I hit everything. I do want Naomi to be independent. I want her to read, write, talk, do basic math skills. But I don't have control over that. I can just do the best that I can. So what I did, hold on, I'm grabbing my other paper. This is notes from today. I just journal stuff down. I'm journaling. So for the last few days, what actually hasn't been, I think it's been 2 days. I've been doing a lot of praying. But what I did, besides researching, a lot of researching and praying, is I just decided that I do need to pay attention to my older kids. By far, I need to. But what I did is I gave them a lot of independent work, and now I'm giving them the week off, actually. I'm giving them a whole week of school off this week for other reasons. I'm going out of town. But the older kids, I gave them some independent work, reading work, stuff that they can do on their own and together. And I spent probably 2 or 3 hours with Naomi, and I just tried to build a relationship with her, but also do some of that fun homeschooling stuff. Yeah. Definitely, Krista. We colored, we played with Play-Doh, we stacked things, I counted with her, I played with her, but it was educational play. Like the scholarship that we have, the Gardner Scholarship, we get a lot of stuff. And I actually, it's Thursday's video, you'll see. I spent like $500 on Usborne books because I was like, I'll use it. But I literally was pulling these things out. I got it from Abby. All of us YouTubers, we talk. Abby Rooted in Rest. She's my Usborne lady. Now she is. But I did. I bought all these books and we colored and we I don't know talk tools. I'll have to check that out. We colored, we did stickers, we looked at animals, and I followed her lead. Like, what do you want to pull out next? And almost like a Montessori thing. But besides, I didn't even pay attention to what thing we were doing, the philosophies. Was it Montessori? Was it Charlotte Mason? Was it this? It was what the heck do you want to do? And how can I make this educational? And how can I build your vocabulary? And when I did that with Naomi, I realized that I actually really, really enjoy teaching her. And I was actually crying. Sitting there and thinking to myself, why would I enjoy this time with her. I understand, I'm only one person with so much time, but even if it's just 1 or 2 hours a day, sitting with her and building that relationship through educational play, why would I want to let anybody have that privilege? Because I'm being selfish. That's my privilege. And so that really kind of sums up why we homeschool, but it was good. It was sweet. I found out, and this is another thing I'm questioning, does the speech therapist really know Naomi? Because she only sees her 60 minutes a week. Is Naomi playing games with the speech therapist, as in not showing her how much she actually knows? Because when I sat with Naomi can articulate many, many words. It's just really hard to pick up because the language is slurred and such. Many, many words that I picked up, and I felt like she was getting at least 100, 200 words. There were sentences in there. There was, I love you, look at this, those kind of things. And I don't know, it's just a lot that I have to, so I feel like you'll get out of diapers soon. I am forcing the underwear, sorry. I'm forcing the panties on Naomi, but she's doing really good, actually. I don't know, I feel like I should talk about that in another video, but I feel like this, though, is the start of me diving into more. I'm preschooling her, but I'm doing it in a way that's fun, that's not forced, that's natural, and I'm praying about everything. But at the same time, I'm not throwing her to the sidelines. Older kids, I'm going to seek out more independent work for them. I'm going to utilize my co-ops. I'm thinking through this. So I have a lot more to think about. But I hope you guys are good with me coming on live. There's 24 of you guys watching. That's wow. I am excited to hear your comments. In fact, I'm not making any decisions now. I'm actually kind of curious to see what you guys say, because sometimes I get some of the best feedback from you guys, and it really, like I say, this is a journey, whatever. No, like you guys are feeding into our lives when you leave me comments. I think about, if you know me, I'm very humble. Like I'm not all like, this is the way or the highway. It's what you guys say, I always process. Even if my comment is a heart and a thumbs up, even if my comment is, that's really interesting, or thank you, I always process. I don't get like those big channels. I don't get tons of comments. My comments, I'll get like 50, 100 a day, but I spend at least an hour, like I put the kids to bed and I spend an hour just going through all of them. I'm really interested in seeing what you guys have to say. So I didn't do a video for Monday. This is my video for Monday. I do have a video for Thursday. And then next week, I'll be back to my normal schedule. Monday, which is Monday, Thursdays, is kind of what it's turned into. I might do one of them as a short. This just whole situation took a heavy toll on me. And I just, when something hits you and you just don't feel like doing anything, yeah, that's what happened. And I didn't do anything. So I came on live as my video. So I guess technically I still did it. And I just kind of, I just shared everything with you. I used you guys as soundboard. And yeah. But anyway, I'm going to close out this video. I do want to thank all of you guys for watching. And I'm looking forward to all your comments. And I love you guys. And Naomi loves you guys too. She really does. All my kids love you guys. So thank you. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Oh. That is so interesting. A comment, she worked as a speech assistant in K-12 schools. What I'm really curious about, here's my question. I want to know, I can't even find it. When do kids with Down syndrome actually start communicating verbally effectively? Like what age is the average norm? Because she's 4. She can communicate, but not with words. See, I was closing out the video. I guess I'm not. But she can communicate, but not with words. So, if you know the answer to that. I know Ryan from Mama on the Mission, she said 7. So I can't find anything online, to be honest. I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys. I loved all these comments. I'm going to go back and check them. Thank you. I never looked. She gave up speech therapy and never looked back. Like gave up speech therapist, so you quit the speech therapist. Old in my class, it's not easy, but patience is key. She doesn't speak. See, that, I don't know. Katie said that too. She says, you don't know, it is possible. Oops, sorry. The battery's dying on my phone. It is possible that Naomi may never talk, and that's okay because that's God's plan for her. You can only do the best that you can do. But, first and foremost, I want that relationship with God, and I want that relationship with family. Like those to me, and then independence. I feel like that's my order. I think that's my husband's on the same page. I won't even tell you what my husband says until later. I got to make sure it's okay with him to express. But know that he's on the same page, and he does think a lot outside the box. Probably more than me, because he was the one that, when I said I want to homeschool, he says it's about time. I am very, very lucky to have a supportive husband who has complete faith in God and me. So I'm going to get going. But thank you guys so much for hanging out half an hour. And if you're delayed, please leave a comment. Like, seriously, I want to know. This is a journey and a process. So I'm going to sign out, and thank you guys once again. Bye.